Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. The San Francisco 49ers have finally signed their man. Kyle Shanahan is going to be coming to lead the San Francisco 49ers as their head coach. This is something that honestly has been rumored about for the past few weeks. It was said that right after the Atlanta Falcons moved on to the Super Bowl, the first team meeting that was held by the Atlanta Falcons staff, that Shanahan was announced as the future head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Almost like he pretty much already put his notice in that he was going to ride it out, wanted to do his thing at the Super Bowl, and do it. Honestly, as of right now, I can tell you that I still have low expectations for the San Francisco 49ers in the upcoming season. I'm still going to be a fan. I'm still going to love them. I can just tell you that I'm not really jumping on board. Last year, they brought in Chip Kelly. A lot of people thought that Chip Kelly was going to be the shot in the arm that Colin Kaepernick needed to become the Pro Bowl player that he had been in the past. And it didn't really pan out. Nothing really clicked for the 49ers last year. We won our first game, beating the Rams, and backslid the entire year. There was games where we showed up and we played good, but not good enough to win the game, giving games away in the third and fourth quarter. There was things that we could take away, seeing improvement, basically putting guys in the right places in order to win games and build something for the foreseeable future. But I don't know. They brought in John Lynch. He's going to be the GM. He's a great football name. He's a good analyst. Was a great player. He didn't get the Pro Bowl nod that a lot of people thought that he was going to get. I can tell you that honestly, my first thoughts when Lynch was named as the 49ers GM when he wasn't even on the short list. He wasn't even interviewed. I reacted to this before even knowing why we hired him. Basically thinking this was a bad idea. I basically thought that Jed York brought him in to be a yes man. Everybody knows that Jed York wants to be a lot like Jerry Jones with the Dallas Cowboys, basically running the franchise. And he's probably one of the worst owners that there are. He chased off Harbaugh and has made other countless mistakes, and has said that he basically wants to take a back step, but just never does it. I thought that Lynch was coming in here just to basically be York's yes man, and it wasn't until a day later when I actually heard people talking about them bringing him in. Why they did was that honestly, he put in a call to Shanahan and said that he wanted to work with him. He didn't say that he wanted to be the GM, just basically said that he sees him as a winner and he wants to be a part of that team. And it was basically, I guess, backdoor deals of Shanahan setting the deal up, saying this is the guy that he wants to be running the front office and bringing the players in for him to coach. And so Jed York has a team set up. In this last week, we've had Kaepernick opt out of his contract, which I will tell you honestly, I don't think he's going to be coming back to the San Francisco 49ers, and I wish him well in whatever he wants to do for the rest of his career. Part of me thinks that it might be a mistake that he redid his contract last year, but then again, with the way that football works with their contracts and free agents and players, the players don't have any control. Ownership has everything. The Niners just would have cut him, and he would have been gone, and we would be in the same spot we're in now. I don't think he's going to get one of the jobs that open up into a starting quarterback position in the NFL. He can hope maybe that he gets brought into to the Browns. That might be the one place that he can go to and start and be a place setter while they get somebody ready if they draft a rookie or something like that. But he's going to have to find an organization that he believes has a good chance for him to be a quarterback and hopefully fill in when somebody gets injured and be there at the right place at the right time and put together a winning thing. Because I think that honestly, him being a starting quarterback is going to take a lot of luck from here on out, and that's mainly going to be an injury to somebody else. There's been a lot of talks, about what the 49ers are going to do at the quarterback position. Most people have them picking the kid from North Carolina. I don't watch a lot of college football, and when I do watch college football, I like to watch the SEC, a lot of Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. I don't watch North Carolina. When I think of college football, I don't think about North Carolina at all. And that's the kid that's on the board. He might have a whole lot of talent, but I can honestly tell you that right now I'm trying to search for his name in my head, and I read about this kid almost on a daily basis because of the fact that a lot of mock drafts have us taking him, and I can't think of his name, so that doesn't really help you out. The talk is about them bringing in Cousins, who Shanahan was a coordinator of the Redskins when they were there together, but Cousins was never the starting quarterback when Shanahan was there. They have a connection together. Maybe he comes in. It's going to take $32 million, I believe, for Washington to put the franchise on him. If I'm Washington, I don't let Cousins leave. I don't think that he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. But then again, if the Niners are able to find a way to bring him in and it's not going to cost them billions and billions of dollars, I'm fine with Kirk Cousins being the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't really think that there's anybody else out there that's going to fill that gap of us being on the road to being a winning team. Cousins puts up a lot of stats. He's a very entertaining quarterback. I think it'd be fun to root for him and fun to get behind him. The next person who's rumored to come in is Garoppolo from New England, who a lot of people thought had a lot of promise. He did get injured in week 2, so he did not really get to kick the season off the way that a lot of people thought they was going to. It was basically setting the table for him being a starting quarterback in the league, basically having a job interview. They barely escaped week 1, which I believe New England beat Arizona. If Arizona, I believe, kicked a field goal, I think New England loses that game, if I remember right. And it's been a long time. It's 20 weeks ago, I believe. And then week 2, of course, he gets injured and doesn't get to fulfill out the Brady suspension. Part of me thinks that Garoppolo is going to get kept by New England. I understand that if they do trade him, they'll find a way to bring in some picks, and that's something that Belichick and the whole New England team is really good with. Picking new players and building for the foreseeable future. But for as good as a quarterback as he is, who are they going to get to replace him? The way that his deal is, he's not a huge hit to New England. So if they don't get the right offer, they'll just keep him, and they'll be in the same spot next year looking for a quarterback. So they don't have to get rid of him. Somebody's going to have to pretty much give New England what they want. So they're set. But we'll see. There's lots of time. We have the draft. We have free agency. Let's see if anybody wants to jump on board. Shanahan was one of the most sought-after coaches, leading into the offseason, and one of the reasons that he didn't get, there wasn't a bidding war for him, because I think a lot of teams went with coaches that they knew they could get. They didn't want to go throughout the whole head coaching, waiting process to get Shanahan, only to find out that Shanahan was going to sign out with some other team, and then they didn't have anybody out there to take their head coaching job. So I think a lot of guys picked their number 2 option because they didn't want to lose out on their number 1, and their number 2 ended up going somewhere else. So Shanahan, Lynch, and we're looking for a quarterback. Peace out. See you guys down the road.